So the problem with the traditional video tripods is that once you set up your camera, you've got everything all nicely set up, you've got your shot, and it's time to move on to a next location, you've got to take your camera off, pack it down, take all the legs down. It just becomes a hassle if you're doing this like 30, 40 times a shoot. And this is the new Sirui SVS75, and it can do this. This comes with their new SVH15 video fluid head system, and it's designed for sort of cinema mid to larger size camera setups like the one we have here. By the way guys, this tripod was sent to us by Sirui to keep and to review, but we haven't been told to say anything specific, and all thoughts and opinions are fully independent. But a huge thank you to Sirui for making this video possible. By the way, we are also reviewing a smaller version of this tripod. It's kind of pretty much the same tripod, but slightly smaller and more compact. So do hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for that one. By the way guys, this tripod costs about $850 right now, and I know you're probably thinking to yourself, whoa, $850 is a lot of money for a tripod. However, if you look at the cost of video tripods in general, especially ones from like brands like Sachtler and Manfrotto, they can go for $2,000, $3,000, even more than that. So actually, the Sirui is considered more of like a budget video tripod. However, for that $850 price tag, you are getting something that feels like a professional grade piece of equipment. The actual build quality is really excellent. It is made of carbon fiber and aluminium alloy. It just feels really robust and high quality. All of the hinges, all of the clips, all of the things that you can adjust, everything feels very premium. And as we'll cover on a little bit later on in this video, it comes with some pretty crazy specs as well for that price. It also comes with this mid spreader that attaches here, which gives you some extra added stability. You can also leave the mid spreader in the tripod when you're packing it away and back in the bag. Speaking of which, it does also come with this carry case. It's not the best case in the world, it's fine, but for whatever reason, it's not like in the middle, so it kind of hangs like this. So it makes it a little bit awkward to carry on shoots. To be fair, I just put it on a trolley, so that's fine, but something to be aware of. Now, one thing I will warn you about is that the tripod itself, with that build quality, does come at a price. It is very heavy. I mean, it's so heavy you could literally do weights with this thing. I think it's about 4 kilograms for just the tripod itself, and then the actual video head itself adds some more weight. I can't remember the weight off the top of my head, I'll put it right here. But it is a very heavy package. So if you are lugging around on shoots all day, every day, moving it from place to place, it's not the best tripod for that sort of thing. So just keep that in mind. So of course, the biggest selling feature of this tripod is that one-step height adjustment with these twist release clips. So that just makes it really easy to adjust the tripod if you've got the camera on top of it already, for example. It's just a lot more convenient and easier to move from spot to spot compared to like a traditional tripod design, which always feels a bit clunky and annoying. Each leg has a single rotational clip here, which helps it to release the leg, and the max height of the tripod goes up all the way up to 62 inches and a minimum height of 8 inches. So you also get these fixed angle locks, which allows you to lock the tripod in 3 distinct modes. So at the moment, it's at its flattest point at 71 degrees. So if you use these locks here, move the leg in slightly, and you'll hear it lock at that next point. Now we're at 51 degrees. And here we are at 21 degrees. So next, let's talk about the actual fluid head system itself. It is really awesome. It is a very big, heavy, clunky looking thing, but it is super smooth and super fluid. It is really a joy to use. Using those pans and tilts, it just feels like there's a lot going on inside. There's a lot of technology with like the dampening and everything that's going on. So you can get some really excellent smooth shots, as you'll see from these samples here. You can also take off the actual head pretty easily. So if you unscrew it from the bottom here and press this button, push the button down, and that bit comes off, and you can remove the head like this. Now, so the head itself also, as I said before, is a very heavy head, but considering what you get in the head and how well built it feels, I think the trade-off is pretty much worth it. It's probably by far the best video head that I've used outside of a few Sachtler ones which I've rented in the past. So the tripod features 7 steps of counterbalance, which you can adjust here. So depending on how heavy or light your camera setup is, as you can see here, we have an FX6 with an Atmos Ninja and a 70-200, and you can adjust this to fit basically the weight of the camera. So if your camera is too light, you can go down to min, and if it's towards the heavier side, you can increase it up to the max side, and it will ensure that you have the perfect balance on the actual tripod head itself. Now, Sirui claims that the minimum weight is 4 kilograms. So if you're someone who shoots on like an FX3, an FX30, A7S III, one of those lighter cameras, you might be, worried about putting a camera on here. Maybe it's too light. But do remember that once you put a lens on it, like a bigger, heavier lens, if you're putting a monitor, if you're putting like a cage, lights, microphones, those things will add weight. So you will get you close to that 4 kilograms. I've used the FX3 with this, with a few extra accessories, and it's been absolutely fine. So to control the tilt, you've got a little knob here, and this basically increases or decreases the resistance of how smooth you want that tilt to be. And there is a lock here, so that you can lock it in place as well. And if I flip you over to this side, and for the pan, same thing, just on this side, you've got the same control to control the resistance of how smooth or how heavy you want the pan to be. And one thing I love about this particular tripod is that you can do this, so you get 360 degrees of panning, which I don't know how many situations I'd actually use that in, but it's still pretty cool. The tilt goes from about minus 70 degrees all the way to plus 90 degrees for a full downward shot. Sirui also includes these handles. You can actually attach 2. I prefer to just use 1 personally, but they are also fully adjustable, which is really cool. Again, I'm not really sure who needs to use 2 handles, but they're very easy to take on and off. Just screw them in to the side here like so. One thing I do like about the dual handles is it does kind of feel like you're in like a machine gun turret. So yeah, this is actually, I could see this being useful. There's also a quick release plate here, so you can take off the camera, put it back on very, very simply. And this lock here feels really nice and secure. The tripod also features this little handle here, so it does make it slightly easier to carry the tripod around and around. However, I feel like it could do with like being slightly bigger and maybe being rubberized or something. It's just not the most comfortable carrying thing to hold, but it's a nice to have. I think probably the biggest issue with this tripod is just the weight of it. I know I have mentioned it already before, but it's just very, very, very heavy. So I don't think it's particularly suited for days like today where I'm going around hiking, walking around, carrying lots of equipment with me. It's just gonna tire you out. It is really, really heavy. I think it's better suited for times when you know you're gonna have the camera situated and still in maybe 1, 2, 3 locations max, and you're not gonna be moving it around too much. That being said, there aren't that many other video tripods on the market with this single stage type of design. I think there is one from Sachtler, there is a very well-known one from Sachtler, and there's maybe 1 or 2 from Manfrotto. They have a similar video tripod design like this, but they are super expensive. I do actually think for $850 in comparison to what's out there on the market, this does offer actually pretty good value for money, considering the specs, considering the pretty amazing build quality. I think my first impressions of this have been really, really, really good. It really surprised me actually how good this tripod feels, how nice it is to operate, the results of the type of video, the pans and tilts that you can get with this tripod compared to some of the cheaper, lower end tripods I've used in the past. So it's definitely, in my opinion, worth the money. The first impressions, however, I've only been using this for like a week. For me, video tripods like this are a long-term investment. You really want to see what they've been like after 1, 2, 3, even in 5 years time, because that's how long tripods should last. So it remains to be seen how this is going to be functioning long term. But for this first week that I've been using it, really, really impressive. I think it's definitely worth consideration if you're looking for a video tripod with a fluid video head system. Definitely worth a look and considering. If you are interested in picking up this tripod for yourself or any of other Sirui's products, I do recommend going on their website and checking out what they have on offer. Again, we are going to be reviewing a smaller version of this, so be on the lookout for that. Hit the subscribe button for that as well. A big thank you to Surae for making this video possible once again. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button and the bell notifications if you want to support the channel, and the like button. Any comments, leave them down there in the comment section below. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, no longer on Twitter for obvious reasons. And I guess I'll see you on the next one. Peace.